In this JavaScript video, we're going to be talking about variables. So to create a variable, we type in var, and then we give it a name. So var a. Now normally this isn't a good idea just to give it a one-letter name because it's not very descriptive. So let's change that to age. More descriptive. We'll get a little bit more defined in a little bit. But this is a declaration. So we've made the variable. We haven't given it a value yet, but it's available for us to use. Let's actually console this out and see what we get. We get undefined. So it doesn't have a value, but we can give it a value by setting it equal to something down below. And this right here is an initialization. So we've declared it here, we initialize it here, we run it, and we see we get 10. Now normally we don't really do it in two steps. Sometimes we need to do that, but most of the time we set it equal to it right when we declare it. So this is all in one, declaring and initializing. When it comes to naming variables, we want to keep to a certain protocol, and one of them is, well, let's just show this first. So again, if we run this, we'll see that we get 10. If we change this to a capital A, we see we get something different, which is our 20. So capital letters do matter inside variable names. Even though they're the same word, they're still different variables because one's lowercase and one's uppercase. And normally we use uppercase variables, or we declare things with an uppercase when we're talking about classes. So it's really usually not a good idea to use it for our variables. Some of the other things that we want to stay away from are putting numbers as the first character. So like this, if we run that, we get an error. Unexpected token, illegal, doesn't like that. Some people use some special characters for very specific reasons. And if we run this, we'll see that it works. Normally though, the convention is not to use special characters either in front of variable names. Another thing is when we want to be even more specific with our variables, age might not be sufficient because maybe there's the user's age, there are other people's ages that we want to compare them to. So we give a little bit more information, in this case, my age. Now, my age is 2 words. We don't separate them with spaces. We separate them with these things called camel case. Well, the whole thing is called camel case, but we do it with a capital letter. So again, we start out with a lowercase. Every word thereafter has an uppercase letter to start its word. If we run this one, we get my age. So if let's add a little bit more, my present age. So if we did that, again, uppercase, uppercase. All right, so now that's variables. There's another thing called constants. So constants are numbers, or kind of, they're values that don't change. So they're gonna always be the same value. So for instance, if you go to a movie, you go to a PG-13 movie, you gotta have a certain age. PG-13 age equals 13. Now, when we're dealing with this, we have all uppercase letters, but you see how it's kind of not readable. It's a little annoying. And we can't use camel case in this case because they're all capital letters to begin with. So normally what people do is they put an underscore to separate the words. So PG-13 age. And if we print that out, let's see how that works. Equals 13, so we're good there. So again, variables change, start with lowercase, camel case after that, constants, all uppercase, words are separated by underscores.